I thought I was planning a wedding. But they were planning a betrayal. I never thought I'd be the kind of person writing a story like this. I used to read these long confession posts late at night and think, wow, how do people's lives get so messy? And yet, here I am, sharing the most humiliating, heartbreaking part of my life because if I keep it inside, I think I'll implode. I was with my fiancé, Mark, for 6 years. We met in college in the most ordinary way, you know, same friend group, too many late-night study sessions, and that spark that sneaks up on you when you're not even looking. He wasn't the kind of guy I usually fell for. I liked loud, funny, confident. Mark was quieter, steady, the kind of person who made you feel like you were finally home after being lost for too long. By the time we graduated, we were inseparable. Everyone said we were the couple that made sense. We balanced each other perfectly. My parents loved him, my friends loved him, and most of all, my best friend Rachel loved him. Rachel and I went back to high school. She was the friend you could never ignore, a fiery, bold, with the kind of energy that pulled everyone into her orbit. She was impulsive, I was careful. She was chaos, I was calm, and yet, we always found each other. When I got engaged, she was the first person I called. She screamed so loud over the phone that my mom came running, thinking something terrible had happened. Mark proposed last spring at a lake that meant everything to me, family summers, fireflies, and laughter echoing off the water. It was thoughtful, personal, perfect. I thought I was standing on the edge of the happiest chapter of my life. Rachel even cried when I showed her the ring. Looking back now, I don't know if those tears were for me or for herself. It started with little things, the kind of moments you brush off because you don't want to seem paranoid. Rachel cancelling dinner with me because she had work, only to slip and mention later that she'd been talking to Mark. Mark smiling at his phone a little too often, always quick to lock the screen. I told myself it was nothing. They'd always gotten along, and I was grateful my best friend and fiancé liked each other. But unease crept in slowly, like water through cracks. I'd see the way Rachel's eyes lingered on him when she thought I wasn't looking, or the way Mark laughed at her jokes like she was the funniest person in the room, even when it was something dumb. My gut whispered what my brain refused to believe. The night that broke everything was a Thursday. It was raining hard, and Mark was working late. I was curled on the couch, watching some mindless rom-com, when my phone buzzed. Rachel was calling. I answered, but all I heard was muffled voices. Laughter. Then I realized, it wasn't a call. It was a pocket dial. And then I heard Mark's voice. I sat frozen, gripping the phone like it could burn me. Their voices were low, teasing, intimate in a way that was unmistakable. And then came the silence, followed by sounds that turned my stomach inside out. I hung up. My hand shook so violently I thought I might throw up. For 10 whole minutes, I sat in that living room, staring at the blank TV screen, trying to convince myself I hadn't just heard what I heard. But there was no denying it. I didn't confront them right away. I couldn't. I felt like the floor had given out from under me. Instead, I turned into someone I barely recognized. I became a detective, poring over his receipts, his phone records, even his car mileage. Every thread I pulled unraveled another layer of lies. His late nights lined up perfectly with Rachel's last-minute plans. Business trips were weekends when she suddenly wasn't answering her phone. Even the engagement ring he gave me, I realized later he had texted Rachel the night he bought it. She wrote back, "She's going to love it, red heart hash." I'd been living in a play where I thought I was the star, but I was just the fool. For weeks, I put on an Oscar-worthy performance. I smiled at Mark, planned wedding details with Rachel, acted like everything was fine while I catalogued every betrayal. I didn't know what I was waiting for. Proof? The courage to blow it all up? Then one night Rachel came over with swatches of bridesmaid dresses. She was scrolling her phone, laughing at something, when a message popped up. I only saw it for a second, but it was enough. "Can't wait to see you later, red heart hash." From Mark. My heart stopped. The room tilted. She saw my face, went pale, and fumbled to close her phone. And in that moment, the dam inside me burst. "Give me your phone." My voice cracked, but it wasn't a request. It was a command I didn't know I was capable of. Rachel froze, clutching it like it was her lifeline. "Why?" she stammered, her eyes darting everywhere but my face. "Because I know," I said. My hands were shaking so badly I had to press them into my knees. "I know it's Mark. I know it's been Mark." "How long, Rachel? How long have you been sleeping with my fiancé?" Her face crumbled. And in that silence, I had my answer. I felt like the air had been sucked out of the room. My best friend, my fiancé, the two people I trusted most had been carving me open behind my back. "Please," she whispered, tears filling her eyes. It just happened. We didn't mean." I laughed, a bitter, broken sound. "You didn't mean to? What, you tripped and fell into each other's beds for months? Years?" She reached for me, but I recoiled like her touch was acid. "You don't understand," she tried again. But I didn't let her finish. I grabbed my purse, my keys, and walked out into the rain. When Mark came home that night, I was waiting. He walked in smiling, carrying takeout like nothing had happened. The second he saw my face, his smile faltered. "I know," I said simply. The color drained from his face. Confronting him was worse than I'd imagined. He didn't even try to deny it. His first words were, "I never wanted you to find out like this. Like there's ever a good way to discover your future husband is cheating with your best friend." He insisted he loved me. That what he had with Rachel wasn't real. That it was a mistake. But his voice cracked when he said her name, and that told me more than his excuses ever could. I asked him point blank, "How long?" He hesitated. Then, almost in a whisper, 2 years. 2 years. My knees nearly gave out. 2 years of lies. 2 years of stolen moments. 2 years of looking me in the eye and telling me I was the love of his life while sneaking around with the person I trusted most. I screamed at him until my throat was raw. He cried. Begged me not to throw everything away. Promised he'd cut it off, that he'd go to therapy, that we could still have the wedding of our dreams. But the worst part? A small, pathetic part of me wanted to believe him. Because I had built my whole life around us. Around him. Walking away felt like tearing out my own heart. The following weeks were a blur. Word got out faster than wildfire. Rachel ghosted me completely, like vanishing would erase what she'd done. Friends took sides. Some said, "You don't just walk away from 6 years." Others told me to run and never look back. My family was furious. My mom cried for days. My dad wanted to have a word with Mark. My younger sister said she'd never forgive Rachel. And me? I felt hollow. Like a ghost in my own body. Mark kept trying. Flowers. Long letters slipped under my door. Late-night texts begging me to talk. He even showed up at my parents' house once, kneeling in the driveway like some tragic movie scene. I didn't budge. But I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I replayed every moment of the last 6 years, wondering how much of it had been a lie. Was he thinking of her when he kissed me? Was Rachel laughing at me behind my back while we picked out bridesmaid dresses? Had I ever really known either of them? The betrayal didn't just take my fiancé. It stole my best friend. My sense of safety. My ability to trust my own instincts. It took hitting rock bottom to finally start crawling out. One night, I found myself sitting on the bathroom floor at 3 a.m. clutching my phone, staring at old pictures of the three of us together. Smiling. Happy. Oblivious. I realized I couldn't keep torturing myself like this. So I blocked them both. Deleted every photo, every text, every trace of them I could erase. It felt like ripping off a limb. But in the emptiness that followed, I felt lighter. I started therapy. At first, all I could do was cry. But week by week, my therapist helped me untangle the mess. She reminded me that their betrayal wasn't a reflection of my worth. That healing didn't mean forgiving them, it meant choosing myself. I leaned on the friends who stayed. The ones who showed up at my door with wine and bad movies, who sat with me while I sobbed, who told me over and over, "You deserved better." And slowly, I started to believe it. Months have passed now. The wedding is cancelled. The engagement ring is back in its box, shoved in the back of a drawer. Rachel is gone from my life. Mark is nothing but a ghost. But I'm still here. I won't lie and say I'm over it. Some nights the hurt still crushes me. Sometimes I wake up from dreams where everything is fine and have to relive the heartbreak all over again. But I'm stronger now. Stronger than I ever thought I could be. I don't know if I'll ever trust as easily again. I don't know when I'll be ready to open my heart. But I do know this: I survived. And surviving, after everything, feels like victory.